Tour de France is happening. How excited are you about it?
It all depends how the legs are, really.
Why don't you just go and win it?
I'd love to, but
Because Continental Tires only work with winners, so I don't know. I don't know if you really didn't get the memo.
all right then, yeah, I'll
just go and win it.
I'll go and win it.
I imagine if I was on the tour, I'd be a bit like, Bowser in Mario Kart. Like,
I know.
Nobody would get round me.
Yeah.
If there is a bit where you could just be a bit slow, a bit overweight, and just be slightly violent, can we do that?
Your biggest enemy is going to be gravity. As soon as it goes uphill, 120 kilos, like lead balloon type scenario.
I thought I had bigger enemies. I thought I had bigger enemies than gravity. I've got a few other enemies. I'll add that to the list.
No, gravity's your nemesis.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Bonjour tout le monde, salut l'équipe de rêve, and welcome to the good, the bad, and the rugby in partnership with our good friends at Continental Tires. I'm James Haskell, in case you're in any doubt. Payno and Tins, they're not here because they're not as committed as I am. When asked to go to Monaco, I was like, God, if I have to. But I'm with two absolute legends, two Tour de France heroes. We've got former winner Geraint Thomas. How are you?
Good, thanks, mate. Yeah, good to see you.
And we've got Ineos Grenadier captain Luke Rowe. How are you, Luke?
Cracking boy.
Nice, mate. Couple of Welshies in the house.
Mm.
Well, look, we're at the top of the Fairmont Hotel, obviously very famous in Monaco, but we're also at the very, very new and plush Amu Monte Carlo restaurant with beautiful views of the Mediterranean Sea and the Principality. We're here to talk about you guys, the Tour de France, and with a smattering, a veneer of rugby. You guys are you bit? You're more of a big fan than you are. Do you ever watch it? Do you watch it together ever?
I watch the big matches. I think.
So you're a fair weather fan, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm die hard because that's not the truth. But any big Welsh international, I go to some if I'm home. I'll watch them. Go to the Millennium Stadium, watch a few Blues matches.
Okay.
If you ask me the history and all that jazz,
I wouldn't.
A bit out of my depth.
But you're a bit more of a big fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I've been to a few games. Like, obviously, I try and go to Autumn Internationals. Are the easiest for it to go to because that's the off season. Like, I've never been to a Six Nations game, which I'm looking forward to.
You've never been to a Six Nations game?
Nah.
Never.
Too busy winning, isn't he?
Do you know what we did say we're going to do though? Is we're going to do the Lions tour. When we both retired, we're going to go do the Lions.
That'd be mega.
Yeah.
The boys would love that.
Yeah.
I played in 2017 in New Zealand, and it was insane. Old rivalries are put to one side. I think you quite enjoy it.
Just looks like a good crack, doesn't it? So,
yeah.
And that's where we said New Zealand. That's the place to go.
Yeah. I was going to ask you just quickly because I know you are a bit of a rugby fan. Would you swap one of your gold Olympic medals to win a World Cup with Wales, or for Wales to win a World Cup? I mean, you can have it anyway. You can be playing for Wales and they win a World Cup, or you could swap a gold medal just for Wales to win a World Cup.
No.
Selfishly,
yeah. But
yeah.
Oh, if I was part of it, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd see myself. I've always said I'd make a good 10. I'd take it to the line, keep them guessing.
Do you reckon? Playmaker.
Yeah, I can
bit of vision.
Bit of vision. Got good left foot, right foot, both feet.
Oh really?
Distribute well.
He's modest.
Yeah.
I was about to say, really underplaying it. Okay. What about you?
He'd be a flanker, he would.
That's what I was about to say. He's a bit taller. Because I reckon
Flanker.
if we got you in the gym and off the cardio, you'd be quite tall, quite big. I reckon you could do a bit.
I'll take that.
Where's
flanker?
Side of the scrum, back.
Oh yeah.
Side.
Yeah.
You just mess up one ear, don't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
look
that's
at me.
me.
I didn't miss any ears. I just looked this bad to start with.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I didn't get any better. I want to talk a little bit about you guys, kind of the different types of training as well that you do for the Tour de France, because I didn't realise, stupidly, that obviously there's so many types of different riders in that. There you've obviously got the mountain guys, you've obviously got the sprinters, you've got kind of the pace setters. I mean, I'll start with you, Luke. Do you want to talk a little bit about kind of what your requirements have been and what you do?
Yeah, I think first of all, you're in the same position as a lot of people when you turn on a bike race. There's so many moving pieces and so many tactics that the naked eye would miss, and it's like any sport when you really get into it in the small little details. Fine details and fine margins are the difference between winning and losing. So there's a lot of different roles. So G would be kind of your leader. If you think of a triangle, the hierarchy, you see number one, all for him. He's there. He's got to go out and he's got to deliver the goods. Yeah. And when it comes to the final mountain, he's got to get from A to B as quick as possible and hopefully win the stage. And then beneath that, you'll have a couple of mountain domestiques. So the guys who will stay with him for as long as possible on the mountain. And then you get middle mountain guys, which is these guys can help a bit on the flat. These are your Swiss Army knives.
Okay.
They're a bit all-terrain. And then beneath that, you got the last level, which I would be in, which would be flat helper. So, yeah, it's quite self-explanatory. For the more flat lands, smaller mountains, and that's pretty much the build-up of a team.
Is it ever frustrating? Because when I've watched the Tour de France and when I've seen about the different roles you have in cycling, obviously it's a very selfless sport. You, as you talk about, you have to deliver, but so much of it is about the team. Just talking from a man as humble as I am, I think I'd struggle to, if someone said you got to do this and let them win, I'd be like, probably no. But I mean,
it's not letting them win though, because you just can't win.
No, fine.
So it's easier to take in a way.
I was about to say it. Yeah, that's my role because I can't do that.
Yeah, but is that because you genuinely can't do it, or the team says you can't do it? Imagine on day one, someone said to me, "Listen, here's your glass ceiling. You just aren't good enough." Most people go, well, I'll show you. Or someone goes, maybe you have to serve your time, and then when you moved out, your time will come. Can you explain that to me?
It's basically kind of saying like you go and play 15.
Yeah.
And like,
oh God. Yeah.
Exactly. Like running around.
Yeah.
And like all this type of jazz. And it's just different. Like in cycling, it's kind of a bit like boxing in a way, but all the weight categories are together.
Yeah.
So you've got the sprinters, and then you've got the climbers, and then everything else in between.
Okay.
And you're all in the same race. It's not separate races, but there's different races within the race as well.
Okay.
But and there's also, it's not just the Tour, there's 100 other races in that year. Like Luke, for instance, he plays that role in the Tour, but then in the one-day classics in Belgium, which are flat, short little climbs, like no more than like a kilometre long, then he's like one of the leaders, or at least a lot closer to the top of that pyramid than in the Tour. So it's just horses for courses, really. And you kind of, because I kind of came through the system almost. I was started at the bottom of the pyramid and worked my way up. These days, the young little bastards just step in and start winning straight away.
It doesn't matter what sport you do. Everyone's always looking down at the academy players, the apprentices, or when there's a young bloke that comes through and blasts everyone, you're like, oh, what a dickhead.
Yeah.
Nobody likes him, do they?
But now it's more than ever in cycling.
Yeah. But why is that, though? Why? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's the nutrition, the training, everything is out there now. Whereas in the past, you just didn't know. Like as juniors, we just jam sandwich in your pocket and you just ride and
Sorry, you had a jam sandwich in your pocket?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was what we ate.
Brought up on,
right.
And we'd go out with the local, like, I don't know, to me they seemed like 50, 60, but they were probably only 30 or something. But it was just like, it's a different time. Like there's like power cranks where they tell you the power you're doing.
Yeah.
We didn't have them till I was professional, or even a year or two into
really?
professional cycling.
Oh, but they were just, essentially, when we turned pro and we were 18, 19, 20, at that point, we went from amateur to professional. And everything, the whole package, everything around it went poof.
Yeah.
Better at this, better at this, better at this. When now, they've got the accessibility, the availability for that whole package when they're 14, 15,
because everyone's got the tech as well. Like
everyone's
the
got
tech,
the
data.
access to it.
They're
You
doing
can find
like
anything online.
lactate testing and stuff like. I've only done it a few times in my
Yeah.
whole career.
But I imagine now, like we talked about, you making the rules for yourself. If they said, "Gee, can we do a lactate test?" You'd be like, "No, probably not. Probably not."
No,
by the end of it, I wasn't doing a lot of fitness testing. I'd be
No,
like,
he's
"Yeah."
quite good at towing the line.
Would you?
Yeah.
I would. I kind of like. I've learned to adapt as well over the years. I don't think I'd still be racing now if I didn't really.
Okay.
'Cause I've done 18 years as a pro. That's the thing. That's the difference with cycling. It's a bit sadistic in that
Yeah.
way. It's just pushing yourself. Like you won't win a race if you don't have the legs to. At least in rugby or football, there's tactics involved.
Yeah.
Or the tactics play a more important role.
We're all just a bit sick in the head, aren't we? Like, if you think a lot of sports, if you want to stop or give less, you can get away with it.
Yeah.
A lot of sports, if you're, or a lot, like,
especially in team sports, people can carry you basically.
you can carry
yeah.
you. And with boxing,
Yeah.
if you go, boxing just seems like, if it ends like that.
Yeah.
You get smacked in the face, you go down,
Yeah.
you're knocked out. Where with cycling, it's just like a slow burn. You're holding your hand over a match, and it's just a slow burn. It hurts more and more and more. It's a bit like torture, and you give in when you mentally give in more than anything. It's you're putting yourself through it.
Like the Giro recently that I did, I finished third overall, and the last stage, big stage, is a 50-minute climb. We had to do it twice. Go up it, descend, go back up the same bastard climb. And
Really?
And the start, it was raining.
I'd have hidden in a bush.
It was like peeing down, and I just felt terrible. I was like, geez, like I was third at the time. I was like, I might drop out the top 5 here, the way I'm feeling. But then you just have to try and stay strong in your head. We start the climb, and then they set in a really high pace. And I'm thinking, it's all right. They'll slow down at some point. 50 minutes later, they're still doing the same. I was just like, phew. But luckily I did start to feel better as it went on. But you break the climb into chunks, but it, like Luke says, it's massively just it's the head as much as the legs, you know.
Those dart moments. It's so easy to give into that voice because everybody has that voice in your head, and like you can't ignore that voice. And that voice just goes like, just have a rest, or just don't need to. You've done it. Like, you know, I'm trying to have the ability to switch that off. I think for most top athletes is the way. I mean, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, I was like going back to that Giro stage. I think a lot of it was like, oh, I'm not letting these pricks drop me.
Right. Okay.
You know, I just can't. That sounds quite like thing, but in my head, that is what I was like. I'm not letting this. Like, it was some young kid, and like I'm just like, nah.
You hate the young kids. I love it. Yeah.
But like the guy in second place as well. He'd ridden for our team before. I was good mates with him. But that race, I didn't really like him.
Yeah.
That as an example, like using you at the Giro there. If you shit out on stage 20 and you went from 3rd to 10th, in the course of your career, what impact does it have? Not a lot. Won the Tour, second in the Tour, second in the Giro last year. So if you're 3rd in the Giro this year, does it make a whole lot of difference? No. But why didn't you drop out? Because to be an athlete at the top level, you have to have a bit of that fuck you inside you, don't you?
Yeah.
And also like the fact when you're a leader and you've got like lads like Luke and 7 other guys who've sacrificed their race or a lot of their race for you.
Yeah.
You can't just give up.
Accountability.
Like,
yeah.
It's just like, and the whole team as well behind that. All the staff, they're really willing you on, and it's a big responsibility. And like, without going back to the old psychology thing, without belittling what Luke did because he's retired now, but it's when you're the leader compared to like one of the guys grafting, the how you measure how they do is so different. So for Luke, like, he did well. He rode and then he got dropped at this point, kilometre, whatever. For me, you either win or you don't.
Yeah.
Or you're out the top 10 or whatever. And it's a lot more harsh, I guess.
Have you had to work on that leadership? Does it come naturally to you, or did you just go, I'm really good at this, I'm going to work, and everyone else follows by example? Or have you turned around and gone, shit, I actually need to take a bit more responsibility? Because some leaders do it through actions, but are awful at talking.
Yeah.
Are they like, do as I say, not as I do? He's just not.
That's you though, isn't it?
Yeah, like
Lead
I think
by example.
it's like a leadership group, like in rugby.
Yeah.
Like for us, it's the same. Like me and Luke. Like when you think back to the Tour, like I guess Froomey would be involved in that. I just do what I do and lead by example, and you either take it or you don't. You were a bit more of a talker at
Chatty
times.
Cathy. I can tell you a bit of Chatty Cathy.
Yeah.
But you need that. You need that balance.
Yeah.
That. Do you feel within the dynamics of a team that, because sometimes captains feel like they have to take responsibility all of themselves, and obviously as someone that can either win or lose, as you said, I can imagine that's quite hard. But actually, more often than not, the most successful teams, everyone taking responsibility for everything and people knowing what to do at the right times. Is that the same translation in cycling? Because obviously I imagine you got the final word before maybe the race starts. Okay, listen, this is what we're trying to do. Everyone's very clear, but maybe an emotional bit, or do you not say anything and now you to take over? Do you mean how does it work with you boys?
Yeah, it's not quite the same. Like when you watch the Lions from was it '97, like the big famous first one?
Yeah.
And it's nothing like that on the bus.
No,
like there's because for you boys, when you get out there, it's like boom, innit?
Yeah.
It's like you're saying, it's short, intense, efforts and whatever. Like you're smashing each other.
Yeah.
For us, it's you could start and you got a 6-hour stage in front of you.
So don't shoot your bolt too early.
But actually, the more relaxed you are, it's the opposite. If you go out and you're more relaxed, and you don't need to be fired up,
okay,
because it's a slow burner, isn't it? Where you guys, you're going to go out and within the first minute, you want to smash someone, they want to smash you. For us, it's.
Have you ever got it wrong though? Where you've over-egged it and gone right out, like balls out, and then gone halfway through, going, oh Christ!
More the opposite way. Like we've gone out a bit too chilled.
Oh really?
And then it might be a bit of.
You were late for the race or something like that.
I've missed the start once. Yeah.
Did you?
But yeah, like back in the day, when I was in a Italian team. There was like a start village, and all the riders would go there. So we'd all go we'd meet the other Brits there. We wouldn't hang about on the bus because it's full of Italians and like just. So we'd meet all the other Brits. We'd have a coffee, flicking through the paper. Like it's all in Italian, but whatever. You look at the pictures.
Yeah.
And then we were all sat there just chatting, and then we're kind of like looking around. It's like there's no other bike riders here. And then like we don't have a watch or anything. You don't know the time.
Why would you not have a watch? It hadn't been invented. You that old? What? You using a sundial? How old are you?
Oh, we just don't race with watches.
Do you not?
No.
Dead weight. No.
Seriously?
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Was that just you said it's
no,
genuinely?
legit. You wouldn't wear a watch because it weighs. The weight of it.
Oh my God! Right. Okay.
So, but yeah, basically,
we'll go into it.
Yeah,
after,
yeah.
Weight.
Well, I mean,
honestly, mad.
Yeah.
Go on. Finish your story.
Sorry,
no, it's basically like so we rush onto our bikes, ride, and then they've already started. But luckily, there's a neutral zone. so they go quite slow. And by that time, we managed to just get into the peloton before they like waved the flag to start.
You're sitting around looking at the pictures in an Italian newspaper, chatting shit, a little coffee on the go.
Have a little coffee.
A little coffee on the go. You've all turned around, shit your pants, and gone like nipped on your bikes and just gone racing and just gone straight in. Sorry, boys.
Yeah. It was like me, Brad, Wiggins, Cav, Dave Miller. So yeah, and we're all just like shit.
Oh my god!
So and then to get out of the village, there's random people allowed in as well. So you're kind of trying to get through them, and yeah, it was.
I must be horrific. I still have recurrent dreams that I got selected and I've left my boots. Like I don't. It's always Warren Gatlin who's picking me, and it's always like I've always turned up and missed the game. It's like you always think you've got exams. Like I still panic I've got exams, but obviously.
What would happen? You have a spare pair of boots there?
No, well it was. I got, but things I had to borrow like a props one that had like those 25-inch studs. You know, like
it's like when you forget your school uniform for PE and they give you horrible shorts.
Horrible shorts, yeah.
Stinker piss.
Yeah, well, most props do stink of piss. I wouldn't borrow it. I'd rather train naked than borrow a pair of props clothing. But the studs I had, and everyone, and actually when we had a scrummaging session, and they're lads, we've never seen you pushing so well. Hask, great to see your commitment with your long studs. Normally I was wearing like moulded studs, so I fucking slide all over the place. All the props go, you don't care about scrums. I was like, yeah, I don't. So that was a good day. But what about you? Have you ever had nightmare moments? Missed anything late?
I was on time.
Really?
Yeah.
You're professional,
very
aren't you?
professional.
Yeah.
You know, like I said before.
Is that because you didn't get invited out for the cool boys with the coffee, like Bradley Wiggins and that? Like you were like inside.
No, it was pro long before me.
Oh,
so,
right.
Yeah.
This
Belongs
was a
to
long
museum,
time
this
ago.
boy. Hang on, have I ever had any freak out moments? Not really. No, I mean I've done some. Yeah, we've all made mistakes in our career, and there's some things you regret, but nothing.
What do you regret?
What do I regret? Probably that Tony Martin incident, because it keeps getting brought up. No, I had a ding dong, like a bit of a argument. It wasn't even a fight, and it's just pathetic that it got escalated as far as it did. But he got thrown out of the Tour de France and disqualified.
At the end as well.
Yeah, on stage 16 out of 21.
Well, so I've missed this, even though I'm a dedicated Tour de France fan. Do you want to just give a quick tell me what happened from your version?
Briefly, there's a guy in another team doing the same role as I'm doing. Right. So we're always logging heads.
Oh, really?
And so I've got my role in my team. He's got his role in his team.
And his role basically is to keep me or the leader close to the front.
And this year
that's the safest place. It was me and Egan.
You and Egan, yeah.
And so it's always like you want to be as close to the front as you can without being in the wind. You kind of shelter a bit to save your legs a bit, but you're always just boxing on with everyone. He's got to make room for me. If we got to go for a gap, it's not really there. He's got to make the gap.
And he follows me. And if
this is amazing.
He just says, I'm just following Luke.
Right.
Like, no worries.
And how scrappy does it get in there?
Well, I got disqualified from the Tour de France.
Okay. Tell because
not. It's pathetic, really. Like
elbows out, like little knees.
Yeah, definitely hit is contact for sure. But it's not like you never take your hands off the bars. No, but just
a little elbow.
Yeah.
And so he's marking you. You're marking him. He's trying to block him.
If you're gonna have a ding dong, the first thing you do is you look up. If you're under tree cover, you can do what the fuck you want because there's no helicopter footage. If you're not under tree cover, then be careful what you're doing.
Right, okay.
And this time, I wasn't under tree cover.
Right.
But we'd been bouncing off each other for a couple of weeks, and then it escalated. He flicked me, I flicked him.
Flicked? What do you mean flicked?
He's there, I'm here. Boom.
Oh, he just went into you a bit?
Yeah.
Like when you got him on your hip. So when you're riding a bike, like if you're half a bike in front, you can basically like take this guy wherever you want.
As soon as you're in front of them, they're at your mercy. Because their handlebar, if someone hits your handlebars, that's what you do. So once you get past someone, you can do what you want.
I did not know.
If they're past you, they've got the advantage.
I love this.
And we just escalated, and then he flicked me, and then I grabbed him.
I love how you're trying to play it down. He flicked me. I strangled him.
It wasn't.
What do you mean you grabbed him? Just a little like, oh, don't do that.
And then we got to the finish, and we were like, oh no, like what's going to happen here? We were right at the front of the peloton. It was right on footage.
Right.
And we both got disqualified, kicked out of the Tour de France. Like, it's the biggest bike race in the world, and to get kicked out from that was just... I can laugh and joke about it, but actually I was fucking gutted and embarrassed for months.
Did you apologise to him after? Did you put your hand up and say it was me, or like, did you get on? Because I imagine that if that finished... Oh, you got on?
Yeah.
Oh, fine. Because if you did that, I'd be like, right, I think we probably should have a little chat away from the cameras, just go and look at one of the porter cabins and just deal with it. And then
no, because it was... Yeah, 6 went off, doesn't the other?
Oh, fine.
It was him as much as it was
me.
Well,
it sounds like you grabbed him and you...
No.
It sounds like it's kind of more your fault.
Whose fault was it?
Yeah.
It's both for you, mate.
No,
Exactly,
fine.
yeah.
Okay, but you just got a bit more
Yeah.
grabby. That's fine. I don't want to say. I just want
Grabby.
the evidence. If I was a court of law, and you've kind of
I'll
incriminated
show you the
yourself.
YouTube video after, and
Okay,
you'll go,
fine.
"Fuck, that's a hell of a flick."
Okay.
He gave me a hell of.
Oh,
Wasn't it
fine.
like, you were on the side of the road as well, right?
Yeah, he flicked me twice. I almost crashed.
Almost into like the people and stuff.
Oh, that's bad. That could have
Yeah.
hurt innocent bystanders.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. Whoever you are, bad man. Bad man. I can remember a couple of training sessions, a couple of things, a couple of games where I had to go to that dark place. I forgot to kind of ask you earlier. There must be a moment in each one of your careers where you were like, this is the most rank thing, whether it was training or in a race that you've ever done that still stands by you now, where you just go, oh my God, I don't know how I ever did that. Well, that kind of set the bar for like how deep you can go.
Oh, for me, it was for sure the first tour I ever did. I was it was in 2007. I was the youngest in the race, and I was expected to maybe do 7 days, like try and do one mountain stage. And every day was a bonus. Got to the first rest day after 9 days, ended up finishing it. But there was days I'd finish and be like, there's absolutely no way that I'm getting on that bike tomorrow. But then you'd go back to the hotel, you'd have a massage, you'd have dinner, you wake up in the morning, you're like, well, I'm here, I might as well start. And then you just go through the same like thing, and like the whole 4, 5, 6 hours, whatever it is, you just swing in, you're just getting your ass handed to you every day. There was even a time on the flat, because at that point I was a track rider. Like the flat was like my terrain, you know. I had that power. I wasn't very light, but I was good, quick. And it's splitting the crosswinds on the flat, so the wind's coming from the side, and it's all one line, and then there's people just getting. And I was in the back group of like maybe 10, and there was like all climbers. They're all like 60 kilos, you know, super light. And I'm thinking, what am I doing with these guys? Like, this is embarrassing, you know. And then like I'm just hanging to hold their wheel, and then I stopped pedaling for a split second, twice, like just give up, just stopped, and I was like, no, I can't. Like, and you lose like a bike or two, and like, no, I can't, and you just get back on. Got through that day. And I finished the tour, and that always stuck with me. I was
Really?
like, I never suffer as much as that, mentally and physically, as then.
How rank would it be? I mean, I remember, again, we are comparing chalk and cheese in some degree, but waking up after kind of say pre-season where it's consistent work and training, and you've put your body through 5 hours of work, which is something I've never done. Obviously had long training days, but you have a rest. You've been on a bike for that period of time. You wake up that next day and you open your eyes. Just a level of like muscle soreness. Is it mental? Is it full body rankness? Is it your gooch is on fire? You know, like what's the
Gooch like leather now.
Is it
After
gooch?
all
Like,
those
yeah, is
years,
it like a leather hide?
No, not an issue.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't even bother you?
I'm convinced. Like people whinge about the bum and gooch and sore. I don't really have an issue now.
Do you not?
After 12
Is
years.
it like that? Just teak?
Sitting
Is
on-
it, you
sitting on
varnished
that
it up like just a wooden
Granite
I got
gooch,
a
mate.
granite gooch? Doesn't matter.
No, we got gooches on us.
Really?
Mate. Yeah.
Just like an old leathery kind of hide, like
Just
just
talking
like
about the kids again.
yeah.
Pidcock, he's like the leader. He's 24, 25. He pulled out of Tour Britain because he had a big saddle sore.
It was literally like a tennis ball there. Like, it was horrific.
But surely the technology is just, you know, do you need that sort of plastic blade digging in? I mean, is there not a better solution?
I think he just needs to shower, mate.
Oh, is that what it was?
Filthy bastard, that guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that. I mean, actually, there's a couple of players I played with. That hygiene around that area as well, especially if you're a flanker. I'm second rows. I don't know how they did it, but I've put my head near a few areas like that, and you wonder what they're. I mean, I've seen them in the shower. They don't shower with shower gel. They just wash the water around themselves. No sponge. Awful. But that's what would set it off, like sweaty, just rank, or just not rubbing.
Oh, it's a bit of everything, really, isn't
Is it?
Like,
Time in the saddle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you're sweating all day as well, and if you don't have a proper shower, it definitely doesn't help.
Really?
It can get infected. You can get a little cut sometimes, like different chamois. Like,
Do you know what? When you do get a bad saddle sore, it's horrific. I said gooch like leather. We've got pretty solid gooches, but inevitably you are going to get saddle sores, and you get, however you want to describe it, a boil. It gets infected.
Really?
And then it can happen after a week, 10 days, and you just got it when you first sit on the saddle. The next.
How do you manage that? Do you imac down there, talc it up? Like what's the order?
Chamois cream.
Chamois, is it?
Chamois cream.
Vass it up.
Yeah, pretty much.
There was
Really?
when I was like back in the day in Barloworld again, I had this like cut on my gooch. It was so sore. And I had this Italian Swanee who gives you the massage. He must have been 70. And he uses all this oil. It's like I'm bloody salad on my legs. And then you flip over and he just like whips the towel away. And I'm like, yo, mate.
Yeah.
Like,
You have to pay a lot of money for this normally, yeah?
give me a bit of decency. Next thing, he's got this spray out and he's spraying like, the pain for those like 2-3 seconds.
Yeah.
It must have been antiseptic or something. He didn't tell me he was going to do it.
Yeah.
I was on the bed just like, hi.
Get air to it is a big thing in it. Like
Yeah.
just air it. But then you're rooming with someone.
So
you kind of walk in and
shut up.
You're completely bolloco, like one leg up. And
what on shit airing it out?
yeah, you got to air it, man. I'd be the same. If I have a bit of a saddle sore, whoever you're rooming with, sorry mate.
What just like
just pick your
right? You get a hotel fan on it.
Yeah, if you
Just
can,
calming it down.
open the window, bit of breeze.
Really?
Yeah, spread them, baby.
Dads, I did not know that. Okay, fine, all right. Well, we've cleared. This podcast's gone everywhere. We've cleared
There's
up.
not
I've
much
learned a lot.
decency, is there?
No, but you good to share a room with though. You're right. You good habits. You to bring room sweets, room treats. Like
I think I'm a pretty good roommate.
Really?
I'm not like ADHD lining things up, but I'm quite neat.
Okay.
First thing I say is, what time do you want to go to bed? Whatever time they go to bed, I'll go to
Okay.
bed. Yeah, I'm a good roommate.
oh, nice.
Aren't I?
Were you a
Yeah,
good roommate?
I think so.
I think we're both quite good
Just
roommates.
like, I'm just not into these early rises. Like, I like to stay in bed as long as possible.
Yeah.
So,
We're the same like that, though, aren't
Yeah.
we? We go down as late as possible.
But what time does the races normally start? Reasonable hour?
midday.
Oh,
So
delightful.
it's like 9 o'clock, you know.
You're not waking up at the start line. You got to.
Well, he was.
No,
he woke up after the start line. A
He
couple of
didn't
times.
know what time he's waking up 'cause he hasn't got a watch.
Yeah.
You can often you have to go down,
Yeah.
you eat, but then you can have a transfer quite far. So if you imagine you finish, right, you're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Our races aren't in big stadiums.
Yeah.
They're in a small village in the middle of France. That's your start.
Yeah.
And then you've got to accommodate 1,000 people. So to find accommodation for 1,000 people in this small village, some of them are actually quite far away from the village and in terrible accommodation.
Yeah.
Like, whatever glitz and glam you think there is involved in cycling.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know where I got that impression from, lads. I can only imagine why I would think there was any sort of glitz and glam. You both tax avoiding bastards living in Monaco. I don't know where I got that from. Anyway, I just
on the road.
on the road. Yeah.
With God's will.
Stay humble, yeah. Stay humble. If you tell people enough about staying humble, apparently you're humble. I try it. Stay humble, bro. Just stay humble. I just want to ask you about your retirement, because I originally, when we did the research in the notes, I thought you were retiring at the end of the season. It turns out you've kind of already. Can we talk about that? You already retired, sort of?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I think it would have been nice to come back and do a race, just to kind of go out on your own terms, rather than go out with the last race being in Belgium in March, led on my back, not knowing where I am.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot to be said for that. To retire on your own terms is something I always wanted to do, and I'm halfway house. I've made the decision to stop because of, well, actually no, I didn't. The injury put me on my arse. So, but I wanted to come back and just do one more race, whatever it was, big race, small race in the UK, wherever it was. But it's just not going to happen. And
Because of the way you ride and because of your position, the risk just wouldn't be.
yeah, you're kind of in the danger zone quite a lot, and the chance of crashing again is quite high. But I'm still kind of getting headaches. Haven't fully recovered from that crash, and essentially, it's not just me now. I've got responsibilities. I've got a wife, 2 kids. I have to be there for them in the years to come. And
Going back to the UK, got to pay tax.
yeah, we've got to buy nappies and milk and stuff like this.
You can't have them delivered to your door. Your
No,
servants
no,
are going to
no.
go.
We're going to have to buy coats because we don't need coats whilst we're
Oh,
here.
God.
Yeah, and wellies and stuff
Oh,
like that.
oh, awful.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Mate, honestly, I feel sorry. I don't know what's worse, retiring or having to go back to Wales. I don't know. It's a toss-up, isn't it?
No, God's country, man.
Is it?
Grass is green and girls are pretty.
Oh, nice.
You wouldn't know much about
I
that.
wouldn't know about that. I wouldn't know about that. Do you know what you want to do next?
No, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
What's in the pipeline? There's a few options. I'm weighing things up now, so I'll decide in the next few months.
Any like nerves about it? Are you right? Are you?
Not really. No, I think actually the last 6 weeks, 2 months have been potentially some of the most enjoyable of my life. Just being there and present. You're there with the kids and you're there with the wife, but you always got half a mind on something else. I got to train. I got to do this. You're trying to do everything to be as good as you can in your sport. When now I just feel I'm present. I'm there. I'm giving them everything I got, which you can take a lot of satisfaction of. So, not really. Just looking forward to it. Excited.
Well, I'm excited to see what the next chapter. I mean, I don't want to talk about retirement yet, but you're 38. You're giving it a good go, really squeezing out every bit of last bit of juice in it. What's your plan? Have you got an idea of when you want to finish, what you want to achieve? Still itches to scratch or scratches to itch?
No itches, no scratches to itch at all. I'd never thought I'd still be racing now, honestly. But I've got a contract at the end of next year, so I'm pretty confident that'll be my last year.
Okay.
I don't want to be 40 in this peloton. I think it's just like, That's just too old.
Will you still ride? Will you both still ride when you think retire? Or will you just put bikes when that's the end of it?
I'll still ride a little bit,
Yeah.
but I'm looking forward to trying other sports. And one thing I was going to say on that is, throughout the past, 15, 16 years, you're constantly saying no to people. Hey, do you want to do this? Do you want to go for here? Do you want to go and watch that sporting events? And you're constantly saying, I can't. I got this. And you're for 15 years, no, I can't.
Even going out for dinner, innit? You're always
Last-
thinking like, oh, I want to have a burger. I'll go for the sea bass. Or
Yeah, mate. The last 2 months, I've done more
We can tell actually
stuff.
a lot of you can say about eating.
Yeah. You want to feel my love handle? Is that what you're after?
It's only because you said, I walked in, I thought it was a great shape, and you went, oh, I have it?
No,
have
mate.
I? You're so precious. I tell you what,
10
you two need
kilos.
therapists over your weight problems because you both got them.
That's a massive thing in cycling, mate. Once people retire,
Yeah.
mental weight, all the mad
Body
stuff,
dysmorphia, that's the problem. You'll have,
it's massive in cycling, mate.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You're constantly weighing your farts.
But
It's
really?
mad, isn't it?
We
Yeah,
didn't actually
yeah.
touch on any of that about the weight stuff. I mean, is it that mental? Literally just, or you're weighing all the time?
Because it's basically power to weight is the key factor, you know. So it's always like now you plan through the nutritionist because the amount of grams of pasta to have.
And you're weighing that all out?
Well,
Or
I
do it
weigh
by
it,
eye now,
but then you kind of know.
Yeah.
The rough. But then you see like the young kids again going on about it, like they're weighing out their broccoli and then they're weighing out like pasta, and it's like, boys, like 10 grams here and there is not going to make a difference.
Well, so I was that loser. I used to have a little portable fix out scales that I used to put with me when I went.
That amazes me.
all year round.
No. I tell you what, it was basically because nutrition in rugby was kind of quite behind for a while. Matt Lovell was one of the first guys that kind of got involved with it. He was with England, and they kind of really pioneered it around that kind of 2000, 2003 mark. And I started 2003, 2004, and I retired 2019. But I always went and spoke to different nutritionists. But there was a big chunk of time where people talked about protein, carbohydrates, and fats, but didn't talk about calorie intake. It was very behind. Lots of people weren't tracking their calories. Lots of people weren't thinking about it. And sort of midway through my career, I started doing that, and I started weighing it. I was weighing it at home, and I found that ability to kind of measure and stuff. But I never had a problem with it because I wanted to be big. It wasn't about being less. It was like big and lean. BLT plan, big, lean, and tan. That's all that mattered.
12 kilos of pasta, 6 chickens.
Yeah, basically. When I had 380 kgs of 308 grams of carbohydrates to eat a day. I had 250 grams of protein to eat, and then I had about 180 grams of fats. So that was
380. See, that's not crazy, is it?
No, but
during the course of a day, that's not crazy, is it?
No, well, for us it's changed a lot, though, haven't it? Now it's. But when
Yeah.
you think, I don't know, how much is in 300 grams of pasta?
It's not a lot. My chicken breast, 20 grams of protein, right? And you're trying to get to 280. So 20 grams, so that's a lot. Imagine that,
Yeah.
you know. And that's 4,000. I was eating 4,000 calories a day, really, is what I was. But again, bear in mind that if I ate
14 chicken breasts.
if I ate 4,500, I'd start gaining. If I ate less than that, I'd start losing. So it was kind of quite a nice window. With my training, I kind of knew where my body was at. But I imagine you guys, you probably eat more carbohydrates, wouldn't you? Because you're going to burn through so much. Because what calories would you burn when you're racing?
Well, it's a crazy sport in that when you're training and preparing for the race. So, like, let's say aim for the Tour de France.
Yeah.
So the phase we're in now, aiming for the Tour de France, is like you're just trying to cut, and everything is you're running at a deficit. So you're burning X and you're running at X.
Oh, really?
minus. Yeah, you're trying to cut weight. It's like a boxer trying to cut weight.
What weight would you have had to be to ride?
I would race the Tour at 72, 73 kilos.
What would you race at?
About 68. And that's 183 centimetres tall.
I'm
Like 6
190.
foot.
I'm 6'3", yeah. 6'3", 73 kilos.
Oh my God!
But you're constantly running at a deficit, and then as soon as you go into the Tour de France itself, you just want to maintain. You don't want to put on. You don't want to take off.
But then that's insane. That because you're obviously running at a deficit, but then the recovery, you know, when I play a game, we'll go to a hard session. Because I was trying to maintain size, you would be in a surplus within reason because you're refueling your body, you're refueling your glycogen stores. You're trying to keep your energy up, and you're trying to sort of maintain. That's mad. Do you ever just come off the bike and go, Christ, just give me something to eat? Or do you have to really maintain it when you're absolutely hanging?
It used to be more like that. We'd do like low carb rides basically and all this jazz. Like you'd have a omelette, 3-egg omelette, do 6 hours on a protein shake and eat nothing else.
But you try and there was a time as well where you'd have breakfast, go out, wait a little bit, and then go out, so that when you got back, you'd have missed lunch and it wasn't that long till tea. Missing a meal. Intentionally, like being part of the plan. Remember that?
Yeah, but it's changed a lot now where you're fueling a lot more. Like on the bike, you're eating a lot more. And off it as well. And it's just the whole, like we said about adapting, like just to change to that was quite hard to start with, because you're so used to sort of restricting everything. Like, oh, surely I just got to be hungry and like hanging every time I get home.
Yeah.
But
you
that's
just get
been the
used to
biggest
it
change.
and deal with it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to want to do this competition, but I just want to ask one more question about this. You retired. What was the first time you went out? Like, did you just go mental? Did you just go like okay, I'll have this, or no?
No, pretty much, yeah. I'm just eating what I want when I want, and it's so nice.
Yeah, it's just game changer.
And like my wife says now, you look so much better than when you did for the past 10 years. I don't know why she married me. I
can think of a few.
Third leg.
Yeah, oh, really? Tripod. Yeah.
Tripod. And you just actually feel a bit better for it.
Okay.
And you know, during the like pre-tour where you are running that deficit, and I think
Your mood and
no
everything,
disrespect, but gee, like the way you cut, like you're moody as fuck sometimes, and it's not
and he's already Welsh as well. Welsh and moody.
Welsh
That's not a great combination at best of times.
could be worse. Could be English and moody, but
we're
anyway,
really good.
like, and that's not a negative to you. That's just if you haven't got energy, you're going to be moody. That's in you, and it's not a nice.
What would you if I said to you, right, to retire today, I could take you out for dinner? Or I said, listen, lads, I've got the good bad rugby card. There's no problem. You don't have to wait in. What would you eat? And where would we go?
Oh, we'd probably go Hotel Paris to start with. Probably one of the most expensive restaurants.
Oh, you want me to just want to do me in on the expense? It's not about the food.
No.
That
Shit
sums
food,
up.
shit
You
food, but
described
we'll have
it.
the
You
lobster.
hate young players, and you want to fuck me out of a load of cash, not because you wanted the food, just because you wanted to do me over the bill.
Pretty much.
We're talking about. You can ask. Like,
Don't even like the food there, to be honest.
You wouldn't even eat it.
No.
No, I'd stick to just one spoonful of brown rice, but I'd order everything.
Have a McDonald's afterwards.
Yeah, but what would you like? Must be
think
something you want to, or you just cycle. But if I say that,
everything you
imagine
like.
I'd derail you before the tour. I get into your head so much, you panic, go off here, put on a load of weight, and you're awful. That could happen.
Nah.
No, you're too strong.
But I think you just crave everything that you don't eat, like burgers, curries, Chinese.
I'd go for curry. I reckon I had a curry yesterday actually.
I think a burger if I had to choose.
Okay.
curry or a Sunday roast? Sunday roast.
Really?
Is
Sunday
good.
roast, you don't get to have that anymore.
Sunday roast or a curry.
Just because where we live, like, when I was a kid, I had it every Sunday.
I'm not a massive fan of Sunday. I'm going to say it's controversial. I had them every weekend as a kid. I'd rather not. Really not. Not that my mum wasn't a great cook. Just I can't eat the same thing all the time.
I used to think you were a good guy.
I know, mate.
Until that comment.
Don't lie.
Until
Nobody
that
thought I
comment.
was a good guy. But listen, I've got to do a little ad read for you
Sunday
guys
roast.
here. So it's a competition time now. As a main partner of Tour de France, Continental Tires are giving you and a friend a chance to win a trip and join the excitement at the final stage of the Tour de France in Nice. This fantastic prize includes flights, hotel and dinner, as well as a boat transfer from Nice to Monaco to see some of the starters, and then a view of the finish line in Nice later on too. The competition will run from the 18th of June to the 7th of July, ending at 11:59 p.m. We have to say that. Go click the link in the description box for all the details on how to enter. It really is a great prize from the team at Continental Tires, so don't miss out. Go and enter now for your chance to win. Now, the last thing I want to ask you about, Tour de France is happening. What can we expect? How exciting is it going to be? How excited are you about it?
For me, it's a really strange position to be in because I don't know. Because this hasn't been my one goal. Because for the last few years, the tour's been everything targeted towards that. And I know I'll go there confident, knowing I've done the work. And I know I'm going to be there or thereabouts. Whereas this time, I did the Giro just before. So, I don't really know. I basically either go and try and win a stage, help the other guys out in the mountain days, have a few days, not off, but mentally not as, because when you're racing GC every day, it's like super crucial. You got to be at the front on it. So maybe have a few those days off, or I could end up riding GC. It all depends how the legs are, really.
Can't you just go and win it?
I'd love to, but
because Continental Tires only work with winners, so I don't know. I don't know if you really did get the memo.
All right then, yeah, I'll
just go and win it.
I'll go and win it.
Who's your main competition?
Well, Pogacar. He's just a freak, really. Him and Jonas Vingegaard, who won the last two, but he's had a big accident, so everyone's a bit unsure how he is.
Okay.
They're the big two.
Why are they so good? Of interest. What's your opinion, having been around for such a long time?
I don't know. I think they're just freaks. I think they've just been good since they burst on the scene. And as we said, they've been training like pros for a good few years, and they're just unreal. He can just do everything. This Pogacar dude. Yeah.
Well, lads, I'm very excited. Geraint, good luck for it.
Thank you.
I'll be watching out. And now I know there's a bit like contact and stuff as well. Now I quite like that. I like a bit of that. It's too late for me to do it. Because Adidas, I'm not sponsored by Adidas. They say impossible is nothing. I'm pretty certain me joining a Tour de France team is impossible. Which I don't think I can do it. But you're going to put me through a challenge, aren't you, at some point?
Well, yeah, I think the challenge still to be set by G, but in
gonna
24 hours' time, we'll know how realistic it is. But I think some things are impossible.
Right. I imagine if I was on the tour, I'd be a bit like, Bowser in Mario Kart. Like,
I know.
Nobody would get round me unless you derail me with a red shell, but I wouldn't be going very fast. It's like me go-karting. I'm there, I can take the corners, I've got a bit about me, but on the straights, absolutely dusted. If there is a bit where you could just be a bit slow, a bit overweight, and just be slightly violent, can we do that?
I think you'd be good on Zwift, like an indoor thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where weight doesn't come into it.
Okay. All right.
And you maybe lie about your weight online as well.
Yeah. But I don't want to get into you boys have both got weight
Velodrome
problems.
on the track.
Velodrome?
Yeah, possibly.
Chris Hoy had big. He's quite small, but he had massive.
But your biggest enemy is going to be gravity. As soon as it goes uphill, 120 kilos, like lead balloon type scenario.
Yeah. I thought I had bigger enemies. I thought I had bigger enemies than gravity. I've got a few other enemies. I'll add that to the list.
No, gravity's your nemesis.
Right.
Mate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. You guys have been amazing. Good luck. All right. Good luck in whatever you do next. I'll be watching fondly. If you ever need someone to come in motivational talk, I could probably do that if you need it. We've been the Good, the Bad, the Rugby in partnership with Continental Tires. Big thanks to the Fairmont Hotel in Monte Carlo. We're a folding pocket production, and this episode was produced by Ollie Hunter.